Despicable has escaped from prison.
The most important part of a heist is being aware of potential danger. I trained myself!
Intruder! Thanks, Ron.
The world of Despicable Me has always felt like a joyful burst of chaos, color, and emotion, and every new chapter adds another layer to a story that somehow stays hilarious, while quietly tapping into real human feelings. As Despicable Me 4 steps back into the spotlight, the anticipation around this film feels different, bigger, warmer, and more rooted in the sense that Gru and his family have grown too meaningful to the audience to ever fade away. The early buzz, updates, and production whispers all revolve around the idea that this movie aims to blend the franchise's classic humor with a slightly more emotional direction, turning everyday absurdity into something unexpectedly heartfelt. The updates reveal that the creators focused heavily on deepening the dynamic between Gru and those closest to him, exploring what it means for a former villain to juggle fatherhood, partnership, and the constant unpredictability of a life filled with minions. One of the major updates that captured attention is the renewed focus on Gru's evolving identity. In earlier films, Gru shifted from villain to father, from father to husband, and eventually from reluctant hero to someone who embraces responsibility. Despicable Me 4 continues this evolution, showing a side of Gru that is more reflective, still sarcastic, still clumsy in the most lovable way, but more aware of what he stands to lose if danger returns. According to production updates, this emotional grounding does not erase the comedy. Instead, it elevates it. Gru's attempts to maintain normalcy, despite being surrounded by chaos, create some of the movie's strongest comedic moments. The balance between awkward family moments and larger-than-life threats gives this installment a tone that feels both familiar and refreshing. Among the most exciting updates are the new additions to the family dynamic. Despicable Me 4 continues showing Gru's life with Lucy and the girls, but this film reportedly introduces a twist that changes the emotional temperature of the entire story. The updates mention a new challenge entering Gru's household, one that tests his patience, amplifies the Minion's mischief, and makes the family stronger in the process. This twist gives Lucy a bigger spotlight, allowing her character to develop beyond her agent persona. She takes on new responsibilities, explores new sides of herself, and shares a chemistry with Gru that feels more grounded and mature. The updates describe their relationship as chaotic harmony, which becomes a running theme throughout the movie. The girls Margo, Edith, and Agnes receive richer emotional arcs in Despicable Me 4 as well. Production notes reveal that their personalities become more pronounced than ever. Margo steps into a leadership role within the family, trying to keep the younger siblings focused while managing her own teenage challenges. Edith becomes more adventurous, channeling her rebellious spirit into a new, unexpected talent that the movie turns into multiple comedic sequences. Agnes remains the heart of the household, her innocence and love for magical things continuing to be a source of warmth in the story. Updates mention that Agnes develops a special bond with one of the new characters in this film, a bond that shapes one of the movie's most emotional moments. Of course, no Despicable Me update list would be complete without the Minions. The news surrounding their involvement hints at their wildest, most unpredictable energy yet. Early production notes describe the Minions as becoming bigger, louder, and more inventive, pushing boundaries of physical comedy that the franchise is known for. In Despicable Me 4, their role expands into a new subplot involving a strange invention that spirals out of control. This invention, created by one overly curious minion, becomes the center of chaos that influences both the comedic and action-heavy portions of the story. The updates reveal that this subplot ties directly into the main conflict, making the Minions more integral to the plot than in some previous films. The film's central antagonist is also a significant part of the updates. Despicable Me 4 promises a villain unlike any the franchise has introduced so far: dangerous, eccentric, and strangely charismatic. Early news describes this character as someone who has a complicated history with Gru, adding tension and history to their interactions. This villain challenges Gru not just physically, but mentally, forcing him to confront parts of his past that he would rather forget. This personal connection deepens the stakes of the conflict, setting the stage for a more powerful emotional payoff. The villain's style, personality, and motivation inject fresh energy into the movie, creating a clash that feels both hilarious and thrilling. Another update reveals that Despicable Me 4 emphasizes high-energy action sequences more than before. The creators reportedly wanted the film to feel grander and more cinematic, blending fast-paced chases with comedic timing that stays true to the franchise. These scenes use exaggerated motion, vibrant color palettes, and unpredictable minion behavior to turn chaos into artistry. Each action segment is designed to escalate the tension while keeping the audience laughing, ensuring the movie never loses its playful charm. The updates also mention that these action moments tie deeply into character development, pushing Gru and his family to adapt and rely on each other in new ways. Updates surrounding the emotional tone of the film suggest that Despicable Me 4 carries one of the most meaningful messages in the entire series. Without departing from its comedic roots, the movie explores themes of growth, trust, and the fear of losing the people you love. These emotional threads run quietly beneath the humor, becoming more pronounced as the story progresses. The updates mention several scenes where Gru is forced to reflect on his role as a father, a partner, and a leader, not through dramatic speeches, but through subtle moments of vulnerability. These scenes aim to resonate with both younger viewers and adults, blending humor with heart in a way that has always been the franchise's strongest trait. One of the most talked about elements in the updates is the expansion of Gru's world. Despicable Me 4 reportedly introduces new locations that feel vibrant and imaginative, giving the film a broader sense of adventure. From comedic hideouts to high-tech villain lairs, each location is designed with exaggerated detail that enhances the film's playful energy. These new environments not only elevate the visual experience, but also provide fresh playgrounds for the Minions' disasters, Gru's tactical thinking, and the villain's dramatic flair. Production notes emphasize that the art direction leans heavily into bright colors, dynamic shapes, and bold design choices, making every scene feel lively and memorable. The updates also highlight a surprising emotional thread involving one of the Minions. For the first time, a single Minion reportedly plays a slightly larger emotional role in the story, not enough to overshadow the group dynamic, but enough to add a layer of depth that the franchise hasn't explored deeply before. This moment is described as both touching and humorous, capturing the essence of why the Minions continue to be beloved. Their innocence and unwavering loyalty become central to a key turning point in the film, emphasizing that even the smallest characters can have the biggest impact. According to behind-the-scenes details, the creators put intentional effort into balancing nostalgia with fresh storytelling. Despicable Me 4 includes subtle references to earlier films that longtime fans will recognize, but these moments never interrupt the new narrative. Instead, they act as small reminders of how far Gru and his family have come. These callbacks highlight growth, change, and the power of chosen family. The updates describe these references as gentle reminders rather than heavy nostalgia, allowing the film to stand strong as its own story while celebrating its roots. Another update touches on the comedic rhythm of the movie. Despicable Me 4 aims to bring back the classic humor style that made the franchise iconic, fast-paced, mischievous, and unpredictable, while introducing newer comedic beats suited to today's audience. The comedy is said to be a blend of slapstick, clever timing, and emotional contrast. The updates emphasize that the humor is not forced. Instead, it emerges naturally from each character's personality. Gru's sarcastic remarks, Lucy's energetic optimism, the girls' distinct quirks, and the Minions' chaotic innocence all combine to form a comedic landscape that feels richly layered. There are also updates about the soundtrack, saying that the movie leans heavily into energetic music with a playful edge. These musical choices elevate key scenes, adding momentum and emotion where needed. The soundtrack reportedly blends modern styles with quirky, whimsical tones that match the franchise's personality. Some sequences use music as a direct comedic tool, creating moments where sound and action synchronize perfectly to amplify laughs. Production updates mention that the film carries a message about embracing change, even when it feels uncomfortable. This message is woven subtly through the character arcs rather than delivered directly. Gru faces new responsibilities. Lucy navigates new challenges. The girls step into new phases of their lives, and even the Minions confront situations outside their comfort zone. Each character deals with growth in their own messy, humorous way, reinforcing the idea that family evolves, and the strength of a bond lies in embracing those changes together. Despicable Me 4's updates also highlight multiple character moments that were designed to resonate emotionally with audiences. One scene in particular, mentioned in production notes, involves Gru facing a moment of doubt where he fears he may not be capable of protecting his family. This scene delivers a powerful emotional punch, wrapped in humor but grounded in sincerity. Another emotional moment focuses on Lucy, showing her vulnerability in a way that deepens the audience's connection to her. These sequences emphasize that behind the comedy, the franchise has always been about the warmth of unlikely heroes and the families they build. The Minions subplot reaches a comedic peak near the middle of the film, where their reckless curiosity spirals into a problem that threatens the mission. Their panic, teamwork, and bizarre improvisations create one of the funniest sequences in the movie. These updates describe scenes involving gadget malfunctions, mistaken identities, and chaotic teamwork that leave both characters and viewers laughing uncontrollably. As the film approaches its final act, updates reveal that the climax carries both high stakes and classic humor. The conflict between Gru and the antagonist becomes intense, fast-paced, and emotionally charged. Gru is forced to confront his past, the Minions must fix their creation, and the family must work together in a way that blends heart and chaos. This final sequence reportedly reflects everything that makes the franchise beloved: action, comedy, emotional connection, and the triumph of unlikely heroes. The final updates suggest that Despicable Me 4 ends with a sense of warmth and new beginnings. Instead of closing the story with absolute finality, the film leaves the characters in a place of growth, unity, and possibility. The Minions return to their usual mischief. The girls embrace new chapters in their lives. Lucy and Gru step into a deeper understanding of each other, and the world around them remains as unpredictable as ever. This ending reflects the central message of the movie. Family is not about perfection. It's about standing together through change, chaos, and every unexpected twist life brings.